Good evening. Happy Saturday. It's getting dark. I was doing things and whatnot, and I listened to some really cool news. They've been really good uh, for Lane Myers stuff. Lane Myers has been doing a lot of phone calls into channels that I don't follow or subscribe to or whatever, and recording like jail calls, and then the channels would like air them, and by the time I'd get around to watching them, they'd be gone, which is really annoying because I find Lane Myers to be fascinating in kind of a watching a train wreck kind of fascinating. So they've been good on covering a lot of that bullshit. I enjoy the voiceovers by Pants. Anyway, I learned today, fucking shocking, that apparently Lane Myers allegedly has an injunction against me, which is news to me. I haven't been served, so okay. I okay. I mean, I'm not going to cover it if and when it happens, if and when I do get served, but I will, upload the paperwork to my Discord so Big Jim Finch can get it, and his people on Really Cool News can discuss it, do the old play-by-play and all that fun stuff. Somehow, also today, I don't know if someone posted it in my Discord or it just ended up showing up in my feed. I don't know. But I listened to about 10 minutes of This Is a Public Service stream. And that dude, like, first of all, he's just biased. I know people are going to say that, John, you're biased. Well, no. These are the facts. This is the law. This is how you apply the facts of the law. And apparently my applying the facts of the law has been pretty good with Lane Myers so far to date. I called that he would most likely take a plea deal early on. He took a plea deal because apparently somebody decided to explain the facts in the law to him, and there you go. So, yeah, and like nothing has been a real shock. Apparently, Lane Myers, I did see a short clip of him talking on somebody else's uh, channel. He brought me up. He talked about how I don't know shit from fuck because I'm a first year family law attorney, which I am. So I mean, touche. And then he said, but don't talk about him because John Murby's John whatever he likes to say my name, John Reedfield. My name is John Reedfield. Like I don't really fucking care. But like I feed on the attention. That's literally been what every channel that I've ever covered has said. Back uh, when I was covering Springer, all Springer's fans would be like, "Oh, you're just generating clicks and views off this." Back when I was covering Earl War, no, you're just generating clicks and views on this. I mean, every person that I've covered, their fan base has come back and said you're just generating clicks and views. But again, I am not monetized. I do this because I find it to be interesting. Although I haven't found First Amendment auditors to be interesting in a while because my viewpoint has shifted from everybody should be able to do what they will to we should really be doing what's best for society. And, just pissing off people for the sake of pissing them off because my First Amendment isn't really super duper compatible with a very cohesive society. And, yeah. But that's neither here nor there. That's philosophy, and I don't really talk about philosophy, or at least I try not to, at least not much. So I was listening to This Is a Public Service, and he has this like disclaimer that he reads at the beginning of his show. And I hate to break this to him, but disclaimers really are only useful in kind of edge cases. Like if it's 50-50, well, he had the disclaimer that might put it to 49, which means that you win. If you don't have the disclaimer, then, well, it's 50-50 and the judge flips the coin behind the bench and you may win, you may lose. They're not really that helpful, but he has a disclaimer that he reads out and he thinks that protects him. And I mean, It's better than nothing, but you know what would be better than doing a disclaimer is not talking a mad load of shit about the victim, because again, that is only hurting Lane Myers and not helping him. And certainly egging Lane Myers on is not helping Lane Myers. But again, that goes back to the whole, what's best for society thing. What's best for society is not egging Lane Myers on just so that he could harass some fucking housewife who happens to work, or I guess used to work for the University of Arizona in some fucking niche capacity that doesn't really interact with the public at all. But all right, I guess your freedoms, my freedoms. Anyway, after he did that, he had to shit on the victim. And I finally got the big gotcha. The big gotcha was apparently during the, and I glossed it over because I've been through a lot of civil harassment restraining order hearings and domestic violence restraining order hearings. So for me, it was just like a fucking Monday at the office. But I guess for Lane Myers fans, this is like some big fucking big deal. First of all, she was sworn in. She was under oath, penalty of perjury. Well, literally every witness is under penalty of perjury. So yeah. And you absolutely do expect, especially in these kind of hearings, that by the time you're done, your client will walk out of the office or out of the courtroom and say, oh, that other person was lying. And you'd be like, yeah, of course they were lying. Of course. Like duh. This is a civil harassment restraining order hearing. This is a domestic violence restraining order hearing. You expect the other side to lie. These are and I believe that this is also the case in Arizona, but definitely in California. There's no discovery on these things. You don't get to do depositions. You don't get to lock them into their lies. You don't get to do all this other stuff. And so usually it's very counterproductive to cross-examine the victim if you can't actually show through the victim's testimony or through some hard documents that the victim, or the witness, I should say, is a liar. So and really, like, if the victim was represented by counsel at that hearing, at the civil harassment restraining order hearing, because this is their big gotcha moment, if she was represented by counsel, like, counsel would have objected to a lot of the lines of questioning and a lot of the things that Lane Myers did, and he wouldn't have got to do them. But she wasn't, and so, mistakes were made by all. But the big gotcha was Lane asked her, like, do you work with your husband? And she gave an answer basically about how, she's done some stuff, right? And then the judge was like, well, in your official capacity, like, do you do any work with your husband? And she was like, no, not really. And no, not really is a completely valid answer. And then Lane Myers said, and what no, not really means is that, like, there's been like little odds and bobs, little things, but basically no. It's basically no. It's not no, but it's basically no. Not really is basically no. And so, like, if you were really trying to cross-examine, or if you were really going to go into it and you were an attorney, you would start asking her, well, you said not really. That means that you do some things, correct? Okay, so what are the things that you've done? If that's relevant, and it's really not, but, let's just pretend that it was. So then Lane Myers shoots back in with yes or no. Now, of course, if she had an attorney, that attorney would have objected. Like, she gets to answer the question how she wants to answer the question. He can't force her to choose between one of his two answers, like, because she is under penalty of perjury, and so he can't say you have to answer yes or no, because she might not be able to give her a yes or no answer. But she does. She says no, because basically no is about the same thing as no, right? And reasonably intelligent people can understand that if you're in a situation where you said no, not really, most people understand what you're saying there. Yeah, I've done a few things with him in his office, but really it's a very tenuous relationship. We don't really do much together. Like, the last time we did something was a while ago, or whatever she would have said, right? And so any normal, rational person would understand that when she's faced with that yes or no, and she's going to answer no, because it's not really a yes, because she's not doing anything currently with them, but maybe she's done something in the past with them. Maybe the city prosecutor's office has run an event or something, or co-sponsored an event with the University of Arizona to attract new attorneys, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe there was something in the past, whatever. But now it's a big lie, right? And it's not a big lie. It's not it's not even fucking relevant, because whether or not she's done anything with her husband in the past is irrelevant. That doesn't give him license to harass her. It doesn't give him license to stalk and harass her. It doesn't turn her into a public official. Like, okay, so she's done some shit. Like, oh, you know what? 2 years ago, I was a secretary for the city prosecutor's office. Oh, that means you've done work with them. Now you're fucking fair game. No, it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry, not sorry, but it doesn't fucking work that way. So their big gotcha is really a nothing burger. And here's the other thing. Like, there was a fucking judge there. And the judge knew essentially what she was saying. I'm losing light. You're not going to be able to see me. Just pretend. How about this? How about that? Watch the sun go down. So there was a judge there, and the judge is what's called a finder of fact. There was no jury, so the judge is the finder of fact. And the judge found that on all of the evidence that he needed to grant the injunction against harassment, that she had proven what she needed to prove. And that's all that matters. Nobody is going to file charges for perjury. The judge isn't going to entertain a motion for perjury. All this perjury talk is fucking dumb. It's fucking dumb. You show me an attorney who's pursuing something like that. It's fucking dumb. Let it go. This is nonsense. Lane Meyer's school of law trying to catch people by forcing them to answer yes or no, by forcing them to answer binary questions, is a losing school of law. That's why attorneys don't do it. When I talk to my clients and I'm telling them, when you're on the stand, if you could answer yes or no, answer yes or no, that doesn't mean that if opposing counsel says you must give me a yes or no answer, that they have to give a yes or no answer. Normally, as an attorney, it helps me when they give yes or no, because then I follow behind and I do the redirect, and I rehabilitate them by asking them the questions that I know that might look bad with the yes or no answer. But witnesses get to answer the question the way they want to fucking answer the question. If you're hanging your hat on this fucking perjury, you're dumb. I'm sorry. This is a loser. Let it go. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.